Hello and welcome to A Cup of Conversation on BRT2 TV. My name is John Ghazi, I'm your host, and today we are off to Kyrenia Amateur Dramatic Society. We're on the stage, we're behind the mics, and it's action with Caroline Atwood and Nicky Montgomery, two ladies from CADS. First of all, Caroline and Nicky, welcome to the programme.
Thank you. Thank you.
And first of all, let me start with Caroline. Caroline, first of all, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And welcome to Bayrak again. I know this is not the first time you've been here. You've been here before, haven't you, for radio plays, I believe?
Yes, indeed. We've done radio plays previously. We've done two now.
Yes. So you recorded a play earlier on, and here you are now on TV with me. Let's find out more about you. Caroline, how long have you been here in North Cyprus?
Approximately 12 years.
12 years. Where are you from originally in the UK?
Wales.
Wales. And what brought you to North Cyprus 12 years ago?
I had actually lived in the south of Cyprus in the 70s, and we came back on holiday. We came to the north, we fell in love with the north, and we moved out.
And that's it? Simple as that?
Simple as that.
Falling in love with the north.
Yes.
It should be a slogan for North Cyprus, I think.
I think so.
Falling in love.
Yes.
Excellent. And Nicky, welcome to the programme. I think this is the first time we've met, is it?
We did meet when I was on a radio show with Denise for ATA.
Wow, right, on a different guy, that's it, that's where I recognise you, and I couldn't even remember whether it was for CADS or radio play, but okay, so welcome back to Bayrak again.
Thank you.
And Nicky, how long have you been here in North Cyprus?
I've been the same as Caroline, 12 years.
And where are you from originally in the UK?
I'm from the southwest. Probably if I looked out from my window, I would have seen Caroline over in Wales. I was in Weston-super-Mare on the Bristol Channel.
Ah, very nice. And what brought you to the TRNC 12 years ago?
I met my now husband, and we were both looking for a new life together. So within 18 months of meeting, we sold up, left our businesses and came here to retire.
Wow, amazing. Just like that.
Just literally.
Why North Cyprus? I mean, there's so many wonderful places around Europe or, you know, the rest of the world. I know that North Cyprus is very special, and like Caroline said, you know, you fall in love with it, and that's it. Once you taste the water, I think, you can't leave. But was it love at first sight for you as well here in North Cyprus?
Yes, it was. We came over on what they term an inspection visit, and I don't know whether it's what they put through the air conditioning on an aircraft, but I said to David, I am not buying. I'm just coming over for a 4 or 5 day break, and within 24 hours, I'd bought a villa.
That was it, you bought a villa?
Yeah, as you do.
As you do, of course, you know, like going to the supermarket and buying eggs and bread.
And we were going to just use it as a holiday home. And then David came into my office one day, and it was the royal we. I've made a decision, we're going to move to Cyprus next year. And I think it's the sort of place you either love or you dislike. You don't hear anyone say, oh, it's quite nice. You either love it passionately or you don't like it. Both of us, ironically, in the early days, thought this was an opportunity at the age that we were to make a difference to somewhere like this. But here we are, 12 years later. I don't think we've made any difference at all, but there you go.
No, I think you've probably made a difference in your own ways. I mean, you know, you're very active in society. As you said, you were here on the radio before under your ATA hat, and then here you are now under the CADS umbrella. So I think, you know, maybe you're doing your own thing here in the community, and every little bit counts. As they say, a drop in the ocean, why not? Every drop counts. So Caroline, let's go back to your profession. Are you an actor or actress? You know, had you done anything like this before? Amateur dramatics?
Yes, I've been in both singing and acting since I was about 17 as an amateur. I've sung in operas and I've been on the stage off and on with a variety of societies. But in the UK I ran my own business, like Nicky, but it was IT.
So you had a bit of background in amateur dramatics?
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, how long have you been with CADS itself?
About 6 years.
6 years?
Yes.
So half of your time here in North Cyprus has been spent with CADS,
yes,
in a way. And how did you find out about them? Did you go and see one of their productions and then join them, or did you just join straight away as a, you know, as somebody who wanted to perform?
I was invited in by Laurie Oxley, who was our late director. He wanted a role filled at short notice. Somebody put him on to me. He phoned me up and I said yes.
The late excellent Laurie Oxley.
The late, very excellent Laurie Oxley.
Yes. May he rest in peace.
May indeed.
So you were called in by Laurie, and the rest is history, as they say, for Kaz.
Yes, because from then on, of course, it was a play, was The Breath of Spring. And we went on then to do a variety of performances, not just with Laurie, but ones that we've done for ourselves, such as Cads and Bounders, which were the variety shows. And other directors have come in, such as June and Beverly, who are members of the team. So when Laurie died, we picked up the torch and we ran on, basically.
Yeah. As you do.
Yeah.
And I believe we were chatting outside before we went into the interview that this is one of the longest running expat associations or groups on the island, isn't it? Kaz has been around for over 40 years?
It has indeed, and recently it sounds awful, we were looking through the list of original members and going, dead, gone, gone, gone. But I mean, it's gone on for so long, and people have picked up, started again, or continued the whole thing. And long may it continue to do so, because it raises money for local charities on the island, and it does a very good job.
It does a very good job. We'll talk about the charities in a bit. But coming back to Nicky now, how did you get involved in CADS? When did you get roped into the group?
I went to see a production and I approached someone and said I was really looking forward to joining them, and that was the beginning. I love it.
And how long ago was that, do you think?
It was about 3-4 years ago now.
Can you remember the production you saw? Or have you forgotten the name of the production now?
I can't remember what production I saw, but the first one I was in was A Drunken Elf at Christmas.
Yes.
And then I was Shirley Temple singing and dancing in the Cads and Bounders. Tap dancing, would you believe, after all these years.
Excellent, excellent. And did you have any background in amateur dramatics before? I mean, were you a member of an AmDram group in the UK?
I was actually professionally trained. I was a ballet dancer, so I was always in professional pantomimes and starred with a few shows at the Bristol Hippodrome with various comedians, and I wanted to do it professionally, but as a ballet dancer, you grow up and you grow out in various places, and I grew out more than they wished, so it just wasn't suitable. So I then went completely opposite and became an accountant.
Very nice. So from a ballet dancer to an accountant. But here you are getting North Cyprus doing AmDram and really fulfilling part of your wish. I mean, maybe you're not dancing as much as you would like to, but at least you're up there on the stage enjoying, you know, the fun that you all have, because it does sound like a lot of fun. I see the photographs, I see the press releases, I see the action that's going on, and it looks like a lot of fun. Is it a lot of fun?
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah?
It's great fun. I actually enjoyed doing the radio play earlier, because at least you don't have to learn your lines. As you get older, whatever part you play, not only do you have to learn your own lines, you've got to be aware of what everybody else is saying and doing, because one of us might slip up and somebody else has then got to step in and get it back to where it was.
Yeah.
So I found the last play that I did quite stressful, learning my lines. But as they say, it was all right on the night.
And as you said earlier on, you were here to record a radio play, and BRT, Barrack International, is very proud to be associated with CADS in this manner. Every year we put on at least one play with you guys. It's been going on for a few years. Thanks to Phil Lucock for you know, coming in and making sure that everyone's all right and doing their lines. But listening to you guys, it was I mean, I was on the outside recording your voices, and we haven't even got the effects in yet, but I was laughing, I was chuckling. We have some interns as well, and they were listening to you, and we were getting chuckles from them. It was quite funny, but you were narrating, so you weren't really any character, Caroline. You were just doing your normal, very good narrating voice. Very important to tell the story, what's going on.
My BBC voice.
Your BBC voice.
My BBC
voice. And but Nicky, you made me laugh. I mean, your character was very funny, and. Is it good? Do you get into that character? Because it was quite a funny character. You were playing a woman who was, you know, flirting. Well, there were no men in the...
They typecast me, basically.
Did they really?
Yeah.
I didn't like to say that. But
Well, they hear the play. It's called The Protesters, isn't it? It's going to be broadcast on Back National very, very shortly, once we get the editing done. But, I mean, it was funny. And did you have fun doing it?
There was no pressure because you had the script in front of you, so you could really, you know, sort of emphasise things, and it's also a good opportunity for those people that don't like performing on a stage to get involved because they are reading their lines. You've still got to act. In fact, you've got to act even more on the radio than you do on a stage because you've got to portray through your voice, whether it's inflection or your shouting, you know, what your words are about. So it was lovely to actually see two girls there today that probably wouldn't step on a stage if you paid them $1 million.
oh, strictly backstage.
Yeah.
Always have been.
And we're talking about, I suppose, is that Sheila you're talking about?
Yeah.
And who else? Is
Sarah.
Sarah. So Sheila and Sarah were the ones who you wouldn't normally get on stage.
No, never.
And in fact, Sheila was very nervous about being interviewed by Denise Phillips on the radio, but she did very, very well. I heard the interview as well, and she was good. But yes, I suppose in a way, it is very nerve-wracking. People now maybe would be nervous sitting in front of a camera here, being interviewed by myself, but being in front of a stage or an audience, where if you get it wrong, you can't go back and start again. You've got to just carry on. It probably is very, very nerve-wracking. So I suppose having the chance of radio where, you know, you're not in front of an audience, and if you do make a mistake, it can be edited out. It's probably an easier chance. It gives you the chance to get that, you know, be part of CADS, you know, not just behind the scene, but in front of the camera or behind the mic. So it's a good opportunity. Would you say it's good to start with the radio and then maybe go on to stage?
I think that depends on your character. You get somebody like me who's a natural show-off. I love the audience being there because you get feedback from the audience. You develop a relationship with your audience from the minute that you walk on. Would you not agree? The radio gives you more flexibility, but it doesn't give you that relationship.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot to be gained from both sides, actually. Personally, I prefer the stage. It's a little more nerve-wracking, but that edge of nerves is what makes you work much harder to, I think, to perform your role much more clearly. I think Nicky's right in that you have to use your voice. Inflection and pitch are very important at all times, but on the radio, yes, it's that bit harder.
Those little extra nuances that you have to do in your voice to portray. I mean, you were both very, very good. Like I said, I mean, you know, even though you didn't have to do any character, you were a narrator. It was very BBC, very good, very official, and we understood what you were explaining about. I mean, I tend to babble on too much on the radio, so maybe I wouldn't be a very good narrator. And your character was fantastic. You had a lot to work with, actually.
She was really, really good.
Yeah.
You know, anything basically the wore trousers, you know, she would see potential.
Yeah. Any man that was mentioned in the play, you were after, but it was a very good, nice little twist at the end of the play and everything as well. But it was a very good play, and you both did very well. Going back now to, let's say, some of the productions. I mean, when you are, I don't know how it works. You probably have a committee. You decide what's the next thing's going on. I mean, how does it work? Tell us a bit about. I mean. Is there a head of CADS now? Do we have somebody who's leading?
There's a chair of CADS, which is Don Atwood. We have a committee. Any member of the organisation who finds an appropriate play, which I'm afraid at our age gets a little more difficult because finding plays for our age group's hard, which is why we write our own. They can bring it up. They can then decide that they are going to direct. The team is then built, and it's actually subject to the overall committee. There is a production team. You then design, you do interviews, you listen to people play the parts, you then decide who you're going to have, and then you go into the rehearsal period. You have a production team doing the paperwork, agreeing on the design of the programmes, deciding how much the invitations are going to be charged for. And literally, it takes about, anything between 6 to 10 weeks of hard work, you know, and you have deadlines. You know, script down on that date, you've got to be word perfect. People find props, we have the backstage team. It's huge considering how few people we've got, but we just managed somehow to glue it together time after
There's
time.
probably more people backstage helping you out than there is actually people on stage performing.
It can be, yes, it's a bit cumulative. But and today you saw two people who work very hard backstage. Sheila is one of the women in black, as we call them, who is behind the stage. And the other one is Sarah, who looks after our accounts and makes sure that we don't spend the money and run off with it.
But you know, everyone's role is very important, whether you are backstage or whether you are on their front of stage doing what you have to do. It is fun, and so you really, once you decide, and you were saying about sometimes you write your own scripts because of the people that you've got. Unfortunately, we don't have many young people. Members of, that's what I heard Phil was saying, that it would be good to have more young blood.
Yes, please.
And that's why he writes some of these plays with old people, set in old people's homes, because of the fact that, you know, the majority of the people who are members of CADS are lovely people like yourselves, retired people, and of a certain age. So you have to, you know, fit the script to the people that you've got. But I'm sure anyone out there who is interested in, you know, performing, please, male, female, young, old, Turkish Cypriot or British or any nationality, please join CADS, because they need a lot of good people, and it is all fun. So I know that you've had dinners and plays where you've been at a hotel, and it's combined with, you know, having a meal, watching a show. And I know that now there might be a new location for you, maybe next year, where you're actually just going to be doing, you know, a purposely built theatre by the Belediye municipality, and actually just a performance, you know, with I hear showers and dressing room backstage and everything, all the...
I'll be ashamed.
Everything new.
Because we used to have to share one room, male and female, to get together to get changed in the old one. Yes, we have a new venue that we are going to approach the Belediye about. I'm not sure that the others will discontinue, though, because they are a real crowd puller. We usually do run 2 nights with 60 odd seats a time. And people enjoy this combination of, you know, almost a sort of cabaret play. So I think, since we're reasonably versatile and we're going to have the option of more than one venue, we will use both as much as we can to the maximum.
That's good to hear. And it gives a variety, I suppose, to everyone. You know, there could be some serious plays in a serious location, and then you could have some more, you know, different setting at a hotel. Yes. And combine a nice evening out, you know, with meal and everything, with entertainment as well.
Most definitely.
You were saying, Caroline, that you were also a member of Chorus Lambusa, weren't you, at one point?
Oh, yeah.
And so are you into singing as well?
Yes, I started out wanting to be an opera singer, but then it didn't, like you and the ballet, didn't work out. I chickened out, actually, basically, I think. So I've sung in Carmen, and I've sung in Die Fledermaus and various others, and all the way, Gilbert and Sullivan, who hasn't done Gilbert and Sullivan, who's singing. I enjoyed singing no end, as with the chamber choir here as well. We had a lot of fun out of both. At the end of the day, I prefer the acting, because at least if you fluff a line, it's not the same as a bum note. People don't notice they haven't got the script, but they do know the song. But I enjoy both, and it's been great fun. But, you know, as you get older, your voice begins to wear, so I don't sing as much now.
Unfortunately, I mean, they were great shows as well. Unfortunately, we don't have Chorus Lambusa anymore, do we?
No, it's very sad. Yeah.
But I'm sure that if there was another group who would like to come together again and do some performances, there'd be lots of people ready and waiting to join a singing group here in North Cyprus. I think we do need one, don't we, again?
I do. The difficulty lies actually in finding the pianist to accompany us, and also a very good conductor. And we were lucky with both Chorus Lambusa and with the chamber choir that we had people who did it. But those particular genre. It's difficult to find replacements for them. Yeah,
very difficult. Nicky, you were saying that you were, you know, doing a bit of dancing and acting. I mean, do you enjoy acting as much as dancing? And do you sing as well, or not?
I'm probably too old to do the ballet that I used to do. No, I love singing, but I can't sing.
You can't sing?
No.
Or you won't sing?
No, nobody would pay to come and hear me singing. I just about managed to get through on the good ship Lollipop. And I think that was probably because people were watching my feet, hoping that I would fall over at some point, which I nearly did, because it was very slippery, the stage, wasn't it?
Yes, extremely.
But no, I love to be on the stage. I love it. And we were talking about the fact that a lot of the members of CADS are, shall we say, more mature and mostly retired, but then so are our audiences. So we are always trying to appease the audiences that we know that we are going to have and that support us. But we need members who not just want to act, but there's so much going on, whether it's sound or even music, the lighting, everything to do with putting on a production. We desperately need help with. Sheila did a marvellous job at the last production, but she needed a lot of backstage help. There was lots of scenery that had to be moved, and she was just one person. So we don't necessarily want loads and loads of more actors, although they would be nice, but it's backstage we're looking for. So people that don't want to go on the stage, we would always find them a good job.
I think Phil was saying on the radio interview with Denise Phillips again that there's about 48 paid members. I think it's only 20 TL a year membership. And obviously money raised from your performances goes to charity. We'll talk about that, like I said before, in a while. But you know, obviously you don't have 48 members all the time doing something, so you do desperately need people to help. As you said, backstage, or you know, doing things like, or even maybe, I don't know, do you need people to make costumes even?
Absolutely.
It's always useful.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know that the last ones, let's talk about the last show that you had, which was very, very recently, and it was in a two-part thing. Didn't we have 15 minutes of Shakespeare's work? And
Shakespeare
then
in 15, yes, Shakespeare in 15 minutes.
And then the two Ronnies, Rubber Dub Dub sketch.
Yeah.
Were you part of that? Were you in that, guys?
No,
No.
I wasn't. No.
No, we sat and watched.
You sat and watched. Isn't that
We
nice
had a holiday.
sometimes?
We had a break.
We did.
You had a break. Excellent. So, and I think Sheila was saying that the costumes for the Shakespeare was wonderful, and that you actually had sponsor. I think ticket trading sponsors you guys. So a lot of help from the community, a lot of support from the community, which means that any money that you raise goes directly to charity.
Yes.
Is it also like when you're rehearsing? Do you rehearse at somebody's house? Do you have a location where you rehearse? How does it work when it comes to rehearsing for a play where you're going to be on stage?
We use a variety of environments, don't we? Sometimes it's a house. Sometimes it's actually, well, obviously when you get towards the production period and the actual play, you actually go onto the stage where you are going to be delivering the play, because you need the spatial awareness. You need to work out where furniture is going to be so you don't fall over it, or you don't walk into the scenery, etc. So to begin with, we might have read-throughs in a hotel or in somebody's house. Then we'll move on to actually planning it out, maybe again on somebody's terrace. We've done it in the past, haven't we? And then we get onto the stage, and then we're using the outline scenery that's been built for us. So really, it moves forwards in stages, but the ultimate, we've got to be on the stage to do dress rehearsals. There's absolutely no other way you could do it.
Do you walk around your own home, you know, rehearsing your own lines? I mean, I find it amazing that people can remember lines, especially if you have a big part. I mean, surely, like you were saying, you know, when you're on a radio play, you've got the lines in front of you, so you can't really, you know, you don't have to remember them. You just got to remember how to pronounce, you know, how to emphasise it all. But when you're on a stage and you've got no, I know there's a prompter there. I know that Sheila's done a bit of prompting as well. But I mean, does it come naturally to you once you start, I mean, or do you find yourself babbling in your house when remembering your lines?
I picked up what you taught me, and that is I recorded on my mobile phone, and wherever I am, I'm always listening to it, because you need, as I said, to learn other people's words. You obviously need to get your cue word, which is the last word of the previous person's speech. But you mustn't rely on that cue word, because they might not say it. And there's this ghastly silence where everyone thinks, oops, somebody should be saying something.
Yeah.
So that's a good way. And you just read it constantly.
Yeah.
And then you put the book down and try and do it without watching the words. But there's loads of ways of learning. I know Don helps you with your scripts when you're learning your words.
I record. Yeah. He records the cue. I then do the words, and then literally we break it into small sections, usually 4 sections, and I just plug in when I'm doing the ironing or doing the gardening, doing the housework, and I just go around babbling away, and I pick it up by listening.
and then when the night comes and you're in front of the audience, you're ready.
It's there.
Bit of nerves, bit of excitement.
Oh, yes.
It would be so good if you didn't have. You've got to be nervous.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah,
You've got to have that edge.
And then you step out onto stage and hope and pray that you just don't black out with what you're supposed to be doing.
Has it ever happened to you? Or to somebody else in the group?
We did skip a half page once in a play years ago, but we just went straight back and picked it up. Somebody said, "Do you mean so-and-so?" instead, and you say, "Oh, yes, that's exactly what I was trying to say." And you go back to that line, and then you continue from
We're
there.
all quite experienced.
We're very quick at picking up on each other, and we have worked together for so long now.
Yeah.
We know each other's nuances. We know when somebody's stuck, you can see.
Yeah.
So you pick up for them. We cover.
Very good. So you know, and that's something that's good about Amdram, the fact that because it's a small community of people, small group of friends.
It's a team.
It's a team,
It's a
and you
real
do
team.
help each other out. There's no sort of or are there divas? I wonder. You two are very nice ladies there, but I wonder if there is a diva because I think
we've had a couple of divas.
You had a couple of divas. Didn't you do a play once? Wasn't there? We were talking again about you had director. And then a diva playing a diva, and another lady who was a bit, bumbly.
She was the bumbly, I was the diva.
You were the diva. Are you a diva, really?
I don't think so.
No.
No.
No, no, no.
So you don't want your own separate, dressing room with a star on it?
No.
Fat chance.
And you don't have your own groupie fans waiting for your autograph outside, or do you have your own?
That's never happened yet.
That happened yet. It will do
Never
soon.
been asked for your autograph.
No. I think I'll pass out with shock. What do you want that for?
We're
then?
quite pleased if anyone remembers our name, actually.
Never mind looking at your face and say, I know you from somewhere, but if remembering your name is good as well.
It is quite nice when you're walking around at a supermarket and someone comes up and says, "Oh, I saw you. You were really good," or it was an excellent show. Good work. That's really, really nice.
It's a little bit worrying sometimes because people do come up to you and they say, "That was fantastic, Caroline." I'm standing there thinking, "Who are you?"
Yeah, I know.
Thank you very much. That's ever so kind. And it's people who've actually, a lot of people know us because we've been on stage.
Yeah.
And they've very kindly come along and been entertained, we hope. And it's lovely. They trot up and say that they've thoroughly enjoyed themselves and when are we going to do the next? And it makes you feel quite chuffed.
Is there a favourite thing that you like to do the most? I mean, it's all tongue-in-cheek, it's all fun. I know that what Phil Lucock writes for the radio and for the stage are quite funny, is funny material. He's into comedy. But do you enjoy doing comedy? I mean, comedy and getting laughs is quite difficult to make people laugh. And it's a talent. Or do you prefer doing, thespian stuff? Are you Shakespeare? Or do you prefer drama? Or is there a preference, personal preference for you, Caroline, when you're performing?
I thoroughly enjoy doing the comedies, and I think as a team we've developed a very good sense of timing between ourselves. I like the dramas, but I do like light entertainment. Shakespeare is all very well. I've done it in the past, but it's not something I would choose naturally. I like the humour, I like the comedy, I like the light-hearted stuff myself, and that's what I would stick to.
Yeah. And what about you, Nicky? What do you prefer?
Exactly. Personally, I love Getting Older and Still Getting Older. They were great scripts.
They were.
But it's really surprising. You look at an audience and you think, "Oh, these are going to be good fun," and they might not laugh very much, or they laugh in places where we didn't think it was very funny. And then the next night you'll look and you think, "Oh, this is going to be hard work tonight," and they laugh at everything.
It's very different. Every audience is different.
You can never tell, what an audience is going to be like, but it's got to be, saying something funny that other people find funny as well and laughing, because then that affects your timing, because you've got to wait for the laughter, hopefully, the laughter to calm down, and then you pick up where you're going. But I loved the last script was Still Getting Older, and that was just great fun. And it's great fun being with the others doing it. It's great fun.
And in fact, I had Phil and June Lucock here last time they were at Bidak. They were actually interviewed by myself prior to, I think the first one, Getting Older. Not before they're Still Getting Older, but the first time. And he is very clever at writing. And I saw, what he was doing. I thought it was very, very good. Very clever. I think, you know, the script, and it makes you laugh. And of course, you have to cater for the audience. And if the audience are of a similar background to you guys, you know, then obviously they relate to your script, and you enjoy it, and they enjoy it, and it bounces off. That's why I suppose you prefer being live on stage, because you can get the energy. The atmosphere is good.
I think that's the exact word. It's their energy, isn't it? And you can get an audience that can really pull you down. I can think of a couple that, you know, we had in the past where it seemed to be Friday nights for some reason. They were always deathly quiet. But then they seemed to enjoy themselves, they'd say so afterwards. Thursdays and Saturdays, do you remember?
Perhaps Saturdays, because it's all our families and supporters and friends that, you know, have been paid to laugh.
Yeah. But the Thursday and the Saturday ones seem to be much more bouncy and lively. But Fridays, there was something about Fridays. I don't know what it was, but at the end of the day, it is nice to feel that warmth and that amusement and that entertainment sort of coming back. It's a reciprocal thing, definitely.
Yeah. How many productions do you think you do a year? I mean, how often? I know it's not a set thing, but is it 2 or 3 productions a year, do you think?
It's approximately that, I would say. We have the murder mysteries at Christmas.
Yeah.
We usually have a play or plays sort of around about spring, and then we do something about, you know, in the autumn. We can't be doing too bad a job because we've been asked to write another murder mystery for the British Resident Society for next year. And we have another, hopefully, if things hold together, Christmas event coming up. The one thing that we're always very subject to is the fact that we are family people. Things happen. Sometimes a member staff can, you know, a member can have to go back to the UK, or they just take a holiday, you know. So we actually have to work round a great deal for our productions, don't we? Actually, timing is sometimes incredibly hard.
It probably is very hard to get everyone together and to make sure it all works out. Anything can happen any time. And it is amateur. It's all, you know, voluntary work you're doing here, your own time. And, you know, you've got to balance home life and giving your time up. Because obviously, prior to the production, you need to rehearse a lot more.
Yes.
So, you know, you're giving up your own time. I suppose rehearsals are evenings and weekends. Is that how it works? Or is it during the day?
It can be any time anybody is available. If we can get everybody together, we do it, don't we? So there is a lot of juggling with diaries, an awful lot of juggling with diaries. And halfway through a production, somebody will say, well, I'm off in the UK for five weeks now. And you think, right, principal's gone for 5 weeks. Well, make sure you know it when you come back. Right, fine. And they have to slot in. If they're going to do the role, they actually do. We've had that happen, haven't we?
Yeah.
People have vanished for weeks at a time.
It's normally me, actually, isn't it?
I wasn't going to say that.
Was it you? You left them?
Yes, I was.
one.
For the Still Getting Older, I went on a holiday and I took the script with me because I was the only one that wasn't word perfect. I have this great fear of knowing my words too early, and then you can get a bit stale before the performance. So I'd taken the script on holiday, promising the director that I would be word perfect when I got back. And I was actually going to learn it while I was sunbathing, and I actually didn't pick up the script until the journey back. And I thought, well, I've got plenty of time between Singapore and wherever. And then I received bad news, so I cried the entire way home and didn't actually pick up the script at all. So when I went to the next rehearsal, I wasn't word perfect. But it was all right on the night, as they say. If anyone knows me, they know that I've always got something with me on stage. I'm normally either carrying a book or a newspaper or a magazine because my words are always in there.
You're letting the state secrets out.
Sorry.
I might not need to ever look at them, or I might have them written on my hand or on my handbag or anything that I might, any prop. I might not ever need to look at them.
But they're there.
But they're there. I know that they're there then.
So if we've ever seen Nicky Montgomery on a show and she's handing, you know, she's got something in her hand, now we know why she's carrying that thing in her hand.
That long handbag with all that.
Excuse me while I just read my handbag.
Or big newspaper. Let me just read the newspaper for a second with the words in there.
There's never water in my bottle. That is absolute fact.
Oh, it is, that's true. I've tried it once.
No, what is there in that bottle? If it's not water, don't tell me it's gin.
It's always gin and tonic. And I was with Caroline in one of the productions, and she didn't realise it was gin and tonic, so she took a great big gulp and then promptly sprayed it all over me.
But it's a bit of a surprise when somebody pours you what in the script says, pours a glass of water. And I was playing the librarian, who's a bit of a dimbo anyway, which we mentioned earlier. See, so I took this enormous glug, and I just exploded. And of course, everybody in the audience thought it was part of the play. But,
And laughed.
Oh yes, they fell about laughing.
Well, that's good.
And I just looked at her very accusingly, and they got the point that Joyce had just been given gin and she didn't drink gin. And Nicky certainly did, but...
Certainly did.
Well, G&T always goes down well, doesn't it? At a party, especially. Good story there, good anecdotes. So, you know, we've got things coming up. Do you ever do pantomime, by the way? You said Christmas. Do we have a panto?
Yes, the RBL are doing a panto at Alsenjack at their new theatre, at the new Alsenjack Theatre, I believe.
Are you part of that as well?
No,
You're not?
no, we've got far too much with CADs, I'm afraid, so...
All right, so RBL doing a panto.
Yes.
But there's no CADS panto this year.
There will be a Christmas murder mystery, providing all goes well. We've got one or two staffing issues, as you might say, but...
Right. And is there a sort of time for that? Is that December, going to be in December then?
It's early December.
Early December. Ah, so. And I know that you are always advertising your shows in the press, and online. Sabrosine always helps you as well. So I'm sure that the tickets will be sold out.
Oh, the invitations, yeah. The invitations to our play are always available, usually through Lambusa Market on the Saturday. That's where you'll, generally speaking, find us with our little kiosk sitting there in the cold and the rain or the beating sun.
So there's a CADS stall at...
Yes, it's a sort of little trolley with a white...
Right,
it's not
okay.
very professional, it's just the thing.
Very good.
And KAR are very good at telling people, you know, that on their database that the tickets are available, and the Food Lodge. The Food Lodge sells them, so...
Got great support for actually getting the tickets sold.
Yeah.
It's ironic that most people want to all go on the same night, and we're performing on 3 nights, so then you've got to try and persuade people, perhaps, you know, Friday would be better than Saturday or Thursday.
Yeah.
Thursday's always a good night to go because it's our first night. And there can be mishaps, obviously, as it's our first live show of that particular play. Or it can go absolutely perfectly, which tends to mean Friday or Saturday might not go so well.
But each night is a good night when you're watching CADS. And talking about CAR, as you said, Crime Animal Rescue, that's one of the beneficiaries of the money that's raised from the ticket sales.
Yes.
Because I think half goes to CAR,
Yeah.
and the other half goes to SOS, Children's Village in Nefkosha.
Never act with children and animals. We act for children and animals, don't we?
Never act with them, but act for them. That's good. You never had a dog on stage then with you? You never had a pet?
No, the only thing we've ever had on stage was a pantomime horse. But we've never had anything live yet. But there's no knowing yet.
Don't know. There's a scriptwriter out there now writing for you, I think. Writing in a young child.
I had a pretend dog, didn't I, in Cads and Bounders?
Yes. No, we've never had that.
So excellent. I mean, that's a really good reason. Another good reason to go and watch you is because you're raising money for charities. I mean, that's a really nice thing to do because I know that you've got expenses and it's all voluntary work. So maybe you don't have to do it for charity, but you do it for charity, and you raise a lot of money. And I know watching the press releases, seeing the actual articles in the press that you give out the checks and you give the money to the associations, to the groups, to charities. Well done. I mean, it's really good, isn't it? It probably makes you feel a little bit better that you're actually giving up your personal time, but you think at the end of the day it's worth it, isn't it?
Most definitely, yes. It's very rewarding, and in the past we've been to SOS to see where they've used the money, and KAR you can always troll up the mountain and see what's happened because they're all the new fencing, new roofing, all the things that the animals need. The kids have benefited from new drains and all sorts of things, haven't they? At the homes.
That's really good. Doing a lot of great work. For anyone watching out there now, I mean, we said before earlier on in the interview that maybe we do need more young blood. Well, it doesn't have to be young blood, but I also heard again from Phil that you have a majority of females and maybe not enough male members. Is that right? Would you like some more men to join? I know you would like more men to join.
I'd love more men to join, definitely.
I was listening to Helen. Helen
would die for some more men.
Yeah, I know. You better listen to the radio, guys. You better listen to the radio play. But I mean, do you think that you could benefit from more input from different people, of all ages?
Yes, please. It would certainly stretch the facility that we've, our ability to put on a greater variety of stuff, actually, I think to a great extent. We could vary, with the age group, we could vary the nature of the plays that we've put on as well. I think that would be a major benefit. I understand from the youngsters, of course, the ones who are out here at school. So they've got exams and their parents worry about them doing the exams rather than learning lines. But now we're doing shorter cameo things like the murder mysteries. It's not so much to learn, it's not so much to rehearse. Please do come along.
Yeah.
And we have had Turkish Cypriot actors with us who've been on stage with us in the past.
I know, and in fact, one of my ex-colleagues here, Shirin, Shirin used to work at the radio, and I know that she's also a member of CADS. And when she's available, she also, I heard that she's a very good actress at fainting, especially fainting.
Oh yes.
In one of the plays you did, very good fainter. But so yes, I mean, you don't have to be British and speak, BBC English like Caroline Atwood does in the play. But you could be Turkish Cypriot, any nationality really.
Yes, please. English. Anybody. We've got several Germans acting with us. Horst is always Father Christmas because he just suits that role perfectly. And Ralph was brilliant as Will Shakespeare, wasn't he? Absolutely brilliant. So the more the merrier. Anybody who wants to come along and play. Come and play with us, as you might say.
Come and play with us. Yeah. And if you're male, go and play with the lovely Nicky or Helen, as she is in the play, the radio play Protesters. Ladies, it's been fun having you here at BRT. It was a fun recording for the radio play. I'm looking forward to hearing the final production, and I hope that you enjoy it when you hear it back as well. And I'm sure you'll have fun listening to it. And just one final thing. The best way to come and meet you guys is either to come to the next production, see you and come and see you backstage and say hi, we'd like to join, or as you said, you've got that little trolley or the little thing at Lambusa. Is there somebody there every Saturday? Not every Saturday. It's normally when we are issuing the invitations, because that's the term that we use. They are invitations to the play. We will be there, but generally speaking, if you look back at any of the information in Cyprus Today or anything else, you'll find a phone number to get in touch with. Yeah. But the best way really is to come and see what we do, talk to us, tell us what you'd like to do as well, because we must get new ideas coming in for us. There could be some budding playwrights as well as our Phil, that we could, we could tap into. Any budding producers? Love to see them. Sound technicians, sound and light, please. Yeah, we'd love to see you. Please do. Well, it's been a pleasure having you here. Thank you. As they say in the business, break a leg for your next production. Not literally though, please. We have had it happen. No, really? Yes. In Hello, Paul, Diana Peake fell down the steps the first night and was in plaster. Oh, she didn't break a leg, she snapped a tendon. She took it very literally then, didn't she? When they said break a leg, she actually did break a leg. But hopefully, not literally. Break a leg. Good luck with all the productions in the future. Thank you very much for supporting the community here by giving back to CAR and to SOS. And good luck with any more production that you have. Let us know. I'm sure we'll get lots of posters flying around social media and in the papers for your next production. I'm sure that the next murder mystery will be a sellout again, and good luck in your new venue when you do have a new venue next year. And once again, break a leg. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. And once again, we say goodbye to the lovely Caroline Atwood and Nicky Montgomery from Kyrenia Amateur Dramatic Society. And listen out to Brighton National Radio. In the near future, we'll have their most recent play, which is called The Protesters, and it's a really funny play. And also look out for their next production, which will be at a theatre or at a restaurant or hotel near you. Until next time we meet here at BRTK, take care and go well. Bye-bye.